to see everybody's wonderful faces. Yeah, so what we're going to do today is we're going to go over a manifestation technique using kind of a guided meditation. And then at the end of the, by Brian Scott, so we'll kind of listen for a portion of it. It's about like, I think 30-ish minutes. And then we'll kind of do some practice, some practical application at the end, and then we'll open the floor up and we'll do kind of our normal, like, just co-channeling, seeing what's going on for everybody, seeing what came through for you, any questions. So yeah, that's where we're at. So starting to settle in here, we'll just open our sacred space together. And then I'll turn on the kind of the portion where we listen to Brian Scott explain. It's like an introduction, so we'll kind of like learn about the technique, learn about different details, and then we'll just do kind of like a couple practice sessions in the end. So just settling into the space there where you're at. I'm gonna get a drink here. Starting to find some movement, starting to get into the body. I always like to do some like somatic, some stretching. I actually just got finished with my yoga, so I'm like pretty, my yoga practice, I'm like pretty hot right now. So if you just want to, I know it's early for Simi and Aurora, and Hong Kong and China, respectively. So yeah, if you want to find some stretches, you can take your hands like this and like hook your thumbs and just kind of like lean back in your chair, starting to elongate your spine, get into the physical body, starting to loosen up. If you're better off camera, that's fine too. I'm not really looking, just kind of like lean to the right. You can pull with your right wrist and then hold with your left hand and just kind of lean over. And then kind of use your breath and then hold your left wrist with your right hand and then kind of lean over to the left. Or maybe, am I reversed to you? This is my left. Get those cactus arms going. Like squeezing your shoulder blades, arms up and back. Starting to move the head, the neck, the shoulders. Get some of those yeses or nos. Rotation of the head, get into your body. Or you can just watch me. It's not nearly as fun if you're watching somebody. It's much more fun if you're, everything's like cracking on me. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, just starting to find your breath. Starting to center your awareness. If you're just waking up or just getting moving. Waking up those energetic centers in the body, those meridians. I do this little technique, I don't know if I ever showed you guys. I've showed some people, you take your fingers and you take your fingernails and you essentially just like brush your fingers like this. And this technique, what it does, I forget where I saw it. It like opens the meridians, which like Tatiana and Devin are acupuncturists. They know all about the meridians in the body. I'm sure other people do, but specifically acupuncture. Starting to wake those meridians up. Waking up from a weaving trance, yeah. Feel free to like tone, buzz, hum. Whatever it is that helps you kind of open your channel. Some people open their channel by singing. Feel free to sing, starting to just bring our awareness into center, opening our central channel, our central pillar. Using your breath. not just in words, but in like actual in through the nose or mouth. You can hold. And then exhale. Starting to release any stress or anxiety in the body. Maybe even close the eyes or lower your gaze. As we start to open our sacred space together, this will be a kind of a guided meditation portion that we'll listen to, and then we'll open the floor together for some aligned shares, sharing circle. Just continuing to follow your breath, starting to think about your intention for today, your intention for this session, continuing to like maybe even get those wiggles in. You're not doing anything. There's nothing to like really do per se. Feel free to kind of flip that switch into receiving mode. Maybe turn that dial down on the masculine. All you have to do is just be present, just be here. Open and ready to receive in a safe, sacred space together with our friends. Inviting in our guides, our higher self, highest self, oversoul or oversoul collective, highest divine essence. Welcoming in your council, galactic, cosmic, planetary, multidimensional soul aspects that are pertinent and align with the highest crystalline, diamond, golden, and above. Welcoming in any guides, goddesses, deities that you work with. Feel free to invite them into this space. Organic source, God creator, Mama Gaia, 12D, Armatena, angelic frequency. The four directions, north, south, east, and west, 5 elements, air, earth, water, fire, and ether, spirit animals, protection animals, power animals. Inner Earth Council as well, too. That's interesting. Taking a few moments here to set our intentions together. I think it's really important to be intentional with our sacred space, with these sessions. So feel free to say your intention out loud. For your words have power, your intention is powerful. Your intention builds your reality brick by brick, especially as we're learning the manifestation technique today. The space is open. Allowing yourself to settle in. And what we'll do is we're going to listen to about 30-ish minutes of, it's going to be by Brian Scott, and it is I'm going to put it on the screen here. It is a brand new video, new manifestation technique. There are many manifestation techniques out there, but this one is particularly potent and powerful. In the email, if you had a chance to read it, it is kind of a variation of Abraham Hicks, like 17 seconds, but kind of with like an updated frequency for that, like, for the quantum, for the 0 point, working with the quantum field. So let me pull it up.
What I'm about to share with you will sound absolutely impossible until you try it yourself. 17 seconds. That's really all it takes to completely shift your reality. Not 17 minutes, not 17 hours, not 17 days,
Can you see it okay?
17 seconds. This ancient technique was hidden for over 2,000 years, practiced in secret by mystery schools, and passed down only through direct transmission. Modern quantum physics has now proven why it works, but the ancients knew something we're only beginning to understand. Reality is far more malleable than we've been taught. I've personally used this technique to shift out of near-death situations, transform my financial reality from bankruptcy to abundance, and even change the very trajectory of my life path. And today, I'm going to give you the exact method step by step. But here's what I need you to understand before we begin. This is not some theory. This is not wishful thinking. This is a precise technology of consciousness that, when applied correctly, creates immediate and measurable changes in your external reality. Now, I'm going to be teaching this and other techniques live and in person at our major event this November in Los Angeles, November 21st through the 23rd. And you can find more information at www.brianscottlive.com/event-November. And I'll share more about this towards the end, but right now, let's dive into this 17-second reality hack that's about to change everything you thought you knew about how reality works. Let me tell you how I discovered this technique, because the story itself will show you just how powerful this really is. It was during the darkest period of my life. I'd lost everything. My business had failed. I was facing bankruptcy. My relationship was falling apart, and I felt completely hopeless. But the universe was not done with me yet. One night during a home invasion, I found myself staring down the barrel of a gun. The trigger was pulled, and as I ran, the bullet should have just killed me instantly. I should be dead right now. Instead, it bounced off my back. I should have died that night. But something shifted in that moment, something I could not explain with conventional thinking. That experience sent me on a fanatical quest to understand what had really happened. How does reality actually work? How can consciousness affect physical matter? How can someone literally shift from one timeline to another? So I studied everything: quantum physics, ancient mystery traditions, neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, meditation practices from around the world. I became a certified NLP practitioner, master hypnotist, and dove deep into the research of pioneers like Vadim Zeland and his reality transurfing techniques. But it was when I encountered Abraham Hicks' teachings that I found the key. She taught about the power of holding a focused thought for 17 seconds. That 17 seconds of pure focus on a thought without contradicting it creates a powerful momentum in the quantum field. Now, she doesn't use the word quantum field, but that's how I started to understand it. When I understood the dynamics of the physics of reality shifting and then what she had taught. This was describing the actual mechanics of reality creation. It made sense to me. What I discovered next was how to combine this 17-second principle with quantum jumping techniques to create something incredibly powerful, a method so immediate in its effects that it almost seemed too good to be true. But the more I used it, the more I coached it, the more impossible coincidences began happening in mine and others' lives. Opportunities appeared out of nowhere. People would contact me with exactly what I needed. Money would show up from unexpected sources, out of thin air seemingly. It was as if reality itself was reorganizing to match my intentions. That technique is what I call the 17-second reality hack. Why haven't I mentioned it before after 3,000 videos? Because it seemed too simple for me to offer it as a technique or a teaching. Before I give you this technique, you need to understand the science behind why this works. Because without this foundation, you might dismiss what I'm about to share as mere sort of visualization or positive thinking, that I'm trying to use a clickbait title, and it's not. This is based on the deepest discoveries of quantum physics. In 1909, physicist Thomas Young conducted what became known as the double-slit experiment. What they discovered turned our understanding of reality upside down. Subatomic particles behave differently when they're being observed versus when they're not being observed. Think about what this means. Consciousness, the act of observation, literally changes the physical reality at quantum levels. But it gets even more mind-bending. Until the moment of observation, particles exist in what is called superposition. They exist in all possible states simultaneously. It's only when consciousness observes them that they collapse into a single reality. Dr. Hugh Everett III took this even further with his many worlds interpretation. According to quantum mechanics, every possible reality exists simultaneously in what he called parallel universes. The reality you experience is determined by where your consciousness is focused. This is not science fiction. This is accepted quantum physics, more than 100 years old. The implications are staggering. In 2022, the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to scientists who proved that reality is non-local, meaning that what happens in one place can instantly affect what happens somewhere else, regardless of distance. They call this spooky action at a distance. What they don't tell you in these textbooks is if reality is non-local, then your consciousness can affect reality anywhere at any time. Max Planck, the father of quantum theory, said, "There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particle of an atom to vibration and holds this most minute solar system of the atom together. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind." What he's describing is what we now call the quantum field, the invisible field of pure potentiality that underlies all physical reality. Here's the key insight that the ancients understood, but modern science is just beginning to grasp. Your consciousness is not separate from this field. Your consciousness is the field expressing itself as individual awareness. This means you're not trying to manipulate reality from the outside. You are reality, choosing which of the infinite possibilities to collapse into your experience. The 17-second reality hack works because it uses your consciousness to instantly select a different probability wave from the quantum field and collapse it into your timeline, combined with the powerful 17-second momentum principle that Abraham Hicks revealed, makes lasting change in the quantum field. Now, while quantum physics has given us the scientific framework, this knowledge is not new. Mystery schools throughout history have taught versions of this technique. The ancient Hermetic text, the Kabbalion, states, all is mind, the all is mental. This wasn't poetry. It was precise description of how reality actually works. The Hermeticists understood that what we call physical reality is actually mental reality, thoughts and emotions crystallized into form. They developed specific techniques to work with this mental substance directly. In the temples of ancient Egypt, initiates were taught what they called the art of Heka, divine magic. But Heka wasn't about casting spells on external objects. It was about recognizing that the consciousness of the initiate and the consciousness of the universe were one and the same. The technique I'm sharing with you today is just a modern adaptation of Heka. In ancient India, the Vedantic seers taught that Brahman, universal consciousness, and Atman, individual consciousness, are identical. The famous phrase, Tat Devam Asi, means thou art that. They developed meditation techniques designed to help practitioners experience this unity consciousness directly. Once you realize you're not separate from universal mind, changing reality becomes as simple as changing your mind. In the Kabbalistic tradition, there's a concept called Yesh Me Ayin, something from nothing. It describes how the infinite formless consciousness of the Ayin Sof creates all realities through focused intention. The tree of life is actually a map of how consciousness moves from pure potential into manifest form. Each sephira represents a different density of consciousness, a different level of reality crystallization. Kabbalists understood that by shifting consciousness between different sephiroth, you could access different timelines and realities. The technique they used involved what they called kavana, focused intention held for a specific duration to create change across dimensional boundaries. Tibetan Buddhist monks have practiced what they call bardo training for over 1,000 years. The bardo is the space between thoughts, between realities, where all possibilities exist simultaneously. Sound familiar? They develop techniques to consciously navigate between different bardos, different reality states. These techniques involve precise timing of consciousness shifts, often in intervals that match what we now know about optimal brainwave states. Advanced practitioners would enter what they called clear light consciousness, where they could perceive all possible timelines simultaneously and choose which one to experience. Australian Aboriginal peoples have understood for over 60,000 years that physical reality is just one layer of existence. They call the realm of pure possibility dream time, the space where all stories, all realities, all possibilities exist simultaneously. Their shamans develop techniques to walk between worlds, shifting consciousness to access different timeline potentials, often very quickly. They understood that by changing their inner reality, they could influence the outer world almost instantaneously. What's remarkable is that their traditional practices involve timed breathing and focused techniques that create the same brainwave states modern neuroscience shows are optimal for reality shifting. When I studied all these traditions, I found common threads. Reality is a fundamental mental consciousness level. Multiple timelines and realities exist simultaneously. Consciousness can shift between these realities. Specific timing and focus techniques are required. The optimal duration for reality shifting focus is consistently around 17 seconds. It may be getting faster. We're moving from 17 to 16. I think every year this gap is going to get smaller, but 17 is sort of the magical sweet spot right now. What all these traditions understood is that consciousness is the fundamental building block of reality. Change your consciousness instantly, and you change your reality instantly. The 17-second reality hack is a distillation of these ancient methods, combined with modern understanding of quantum mechanics, neuroscience, and Abraham Hicks' insights about the power of sustained focused thought. But there's one more crucial piece I need to share with you before we get to the technique itself. The neuroscience of reality shifting, and that is what is actually happening in your brain when you successfully shift realities. Because Neuroscience behind this is absolutely fascinating and will help you maximize your results. Your brain operates at different frequencies throughout the day, and each frequency gives you access to different capabilities. Most people spend their waking hours in beta brainwave states, 13 to 30 hertz, which is great for logical thinking and everyday activities, but terrible for reality shifting. When you successfully shift realities, you need to access what neuroscientists call the alpha-theta bridge, the zone between 7 and 13 hertz. This is the same brainwave state you're in during deep meditation, just before falling asleep, or during the moments of profound inspiration. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research has shown that when people have spontaneous healing experiences or reality shifts, their brains are consistently in alpha-theta states. This is when your conscious mind relaxes its grip and your subconscious becomes highly programmable. But here's what's really fascinating. It takes approximately 17 seconds of sustained focus to shift from beta into alpha-theta states. This isn't a coincidence. It's neuroscience confirming ancient wisdom. Neuroscientists have discovered something called the default mode network, a network of brain regions that becomes active when you're not focused on the outside world and your mind is wandering inward. This network includes medial prefrontal cortex, the posterior cingulate cortex, and the angular gyrus. When this network is active, you have access to what researchers call divergent thinking, the ability to perceive multiple possibilities simultaneously. Advanced meditators and people who regularly experience reality shift show increased activity in the default mode network and stronger connections between its different regions. They have brains that are wired for accessing multiple realities. There's a part of your brain stem called the reticular activating system, or RAS, that acts like a filter for reality. Your RAS determines what information gets through to your conscious awareness and what's getting filtered out. Here's the key. Your RAS is programmed by your beliefs, expectations, and repeated thoughts. When you use the 17-second reality hack consistently, you're reprogramming your RAS to filter for evidence of a new reality. This is why people often experience synchronicities and opportunities appearing out of nowhere after using reality shifting techniques. It's not that these opportunities were there before, it's that your RAS is now allowing you to perceive them. Your brain is consistently rewiring itself based on your thoughts, emotions, and experiences. This is called neuroplasticity. Every time you think a thought, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with that thought. But here's what most people don't understand. Your brain can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you use the 17-second reality hack, you're creating new neural pathways that correspond to your desired reality. Dr. Alvaro Pascual-León at Harvard Medical School has shown that people who mentally practice piano for 2 hours a day develop the same brain changes as people who physically practice piano for the same amount of time. Mental rehearsal completely rewires your brain as if the imagined experience were real. The HeartMath Institute has discovered that your heart has its own neural network, about 40,000 neurons that send more information to the brain than they receive. When you achieve what they call heart coherence, your heart rhythm becomes smooth and ordered. This coherent heart rhythm synchronizes your entire nervous system and creates an optimal state for reality shifting. It's why the 17-second reality hack includes a focus on gratitude and positive emotion. These emotions create heart coherence, which amplifies the effectiveness of the technique. Some cutting-edge neuroscientists, like Dr. Stuart Hameroff, believe that consciousness operates at the quantum level within brain cells. According to their orchestrated objective reduction theory, microtubules and neurons can exist in quantum superposition states. If this theory is correct, then your brain is literally a quantum computer that can access information from multiple timelines simultaneously, which is what a quantum computer does. The 17-second reality hack may be a way of consciously directing your brain's quantum processing capabilities. Based on all this, 17 seconds appears to be the minimum time needed to shift from beta to alpha theta, to create heart coherence, begin rewiring neural pathways, and access the quantum field. This is why Abraham Hicks' teaching about 17 seconds creates momentum in the quantum field so accurately. It's based on the optimal timing of human consciousness and neuroscience. Before I give you the actual technique, I want to share some real-world evidence and case studies that demonstrate just how powerful this is in people at a distance. Recent discoveries in quantum biology are also relevant here. Scientists aren't just psychological tools. They are methods for directly interfacing with the quantum field that underlies physical reality. All right, now for what you've been waiting for, the actual technique. But first, a warning, this technique is incredibly powerful. I want you to use it responsibly. What you're about to learn can create massive changes in your life very quickly. Make sure you're prepared for what you're asking for. I've seen people's lives change and transform within weeks of learning this technique. Relationships, finances, health, career, everything can shift when you master this. So please use this wisdom ethically for the highest good. The first step is the quantum pause. Close your eyes and take one deep breath. In this moment, you're going to step out of linear time and enter the eternal now, the space between thoughts where all possibilities exist. Sometimes it takes longer, but you can do it within 1 to 3 seconds. You're not just relaxing, you're shifting your brain waves from beta to alpha. Sometimes I find rolling your eyes up at a 45-degree angle speeds this process up within a 1 to 3 second period. As you take this breath, imagine yourself stepping out of the movie of your current life and into the projection booth where all possible movies exist simultaneously. You're becoming the observer of your reality rather than just a character within it. Then seconds 4 through 6, for 3 seconds, completely let go of who you think you are. 3 seconds is a long time when you do this. You release your name, your story, your history, your problems, your limitations, become pure awareness, the observer behind all experience. This is crucial because your current identity is what keeps you locked into your current reality. Your identity is like a radio frequency. It determines which reality station you're tuned into. To shift realities, you must first become bigger than your current self-concept. Imagine your identity dissolving like sugar in water, leaving only pure unlimited consciousness. The third step, seconds 7 through 14, from this space of pure potential, clearly see, feel, and experience yourself already living the reality you desire. This is the heart of the technique. 8 full seconds or more of uninterrupted focus on your desired reality, just as Abraham Hicks taught about the power of 17 seconds of pure thought. Now, some people would say Abraham Hicks is saying you must do the imagining for 17 seconds, and there may be some truth to that. I think that you must initiate a process within this time of just letting go and entering into that state. This is not like a visualization in the way people think of it. You're not imagining a future scenario. You're selecting a parallel timeline where this reality already exists and aligning your consciousness with it. Feel the emotions as if you're already there. See through the eyes of this other version of yourself. Hear the sounds. Experience the sensations. Feel the gratitude of already having what you desire. The key is presence. You're not hoping this will happen. You're experiencing it as already real in this moment. You're not trying to create anything new. You're simply tuning into a frequency that already exists. During these 8 seconds, if your mind starts to wander or doubt creeps in, gently return the feeling of already having what you want. The feeling is more important than the visual details. Then there's quantum collapse. That's seconds 15 through 16. With complete certainty and gratitude, mentally declare it is done. You're not asking or hoping or trying to manifest. You're acknowledging that you already selected this timeline and it's now in the process of becoming a physical reality. This is the moment of quantum collapse, where infinite possibilities collapse into a single selected outcome. Feel the relief of gratitude knowing that this reality shift has already happened at the quantum level, and it's just a matter of time before it appears in your physical experience. In the 17th and final second, take one final breath and slowly open your eyes, carrying the knowing that you've just shifted into a parallel reality. Don't analyze or doubt what just happened. Just simply remain open and aware as your new reality begins to unfold. As you open your eyes, maintain the feeling that something fundamental has shifted. You're not the same person who closed their eyes 17 seconds ago. You're now the version of yourself who lives in the reality you selected. Now, it doesn't sell YouTube videos for me to do a 17-second meditation with you. But I promise you, that's all it takes. You're 17 seconds away from whatever you want. Now, let me be clear. You can absolutely take longer with this technique. I'm giving you this from a perspective that this is about the quickest you can do this. A lot of times you can do it in 30 seconds or a couple of minutes. You have the steps now. Once again, it's just 4 simple steps. The first step is the quantum pause, closing your eyes, letting go, going into the moment, becoming mindful. The second step is dissolving your identity, who you are, entering into a no thing, no body, into a void. The third step is selecting your reality by imagining from it as vividly as possible. Then the quantum collapse, where you mentally declare it is done. You're not asking or hoping, you are declaring it is done. And then the fifth step is integration. You take that final breath and slowly open your eyes, carrying the knowing that you've just shifted into your parallel reality. And that's it. When you're first learning this, you might spend a minute or even several minutes on each step. But once you master it, you can literally shift realities in as little as 17 seconds. The minimum effective dose for reality shifting is 17 seconds. Abraham revealed that 17 seconds of pure focused thought creates this powerful momentum. Think of it like learning to drive. At first, you consciously think about every action, check the mirrors, signal, look both ways, but eventually you can execute a lane change quickly without conscious thought. The 17-second reality hack works the same way. This is the beginning of teaching instantaneous manifestation. We're 17 seconds away from it. Once you've mastered this basic technique, there are some advanced variations. You can try emotional amplifiers. Instead of just feeling gratitude at the end, spend the entire 17 seconds in a state of overwhelming joy and excitement about already having your desire. 17 seconds of pure joy. Watch what happens. Or use sensory immersion. Engage all 5 senses during the quantum selection phase. What do you see, hear, feel, smell, and taste in your new reality? Use the technique to shift your perception of past events. Focus on a timeline where a past situation unfolded differently, feeling grateful that it happened the way you wanted it to. Or use the technique to shift into timelines that benefit not just you, but everyone around you. Focus on realities where everyone wins. This works quickly because you're not trying to change reality. You're changing which reality you're experiencing. All possible realities already exist in the quantum field. You're simply moving your point of consciousness from one to another. Like changing the channel on a TV. You're not creating a new program, you're tuning into a different frequency. Now let me address the most common obstacles people face with this technique. The first is, I can't visualize clearly. It's probably the most common concern I hear. People think they need to create perfect mental movies in their minds. You don't need to see anything clearly. The quantum field responds to feeling and intention, not visual clarity. Some people are visual, others kinesthetic, and others are auditory. Use whatever sensory modality feels most natural to you. Another obstacle is, I don't believe it will work. This is a tricky one because belief seems so important. But the truth is, belief isn't required for the initial shift. But it is required to maintain the new timeline. Start small. Use the technique for minor things first, finding a parking space, receiving a text from someone, small amounts of money appearing. I always tell people to start with believable impossibilities, things that would be wonderful if they happened but don't seem totally impossible. The third obstacle is nothing happened immediately. This usually happens because people are looking for dramatic external changes and missing the subtle signs that reality is shifting. Changes often begin in ways you don't immediately recognize. Stay alert for synchronicities, unusual opportunities, people reaching out to you, shifts in your mood or energy levels, or sudden insights and ideas. Keep a reality shift journal and write down anything unusual that happens in the 72 hours after using this technique. Another common obstacle is I slip back into my old reality. This is completely normal and expected. You're dealing with timeline elasticity. Your consciousness naturally wants to return to familiar patterns. This is why consistency is so important. Use this technique multiple times throughout the day, especially when you notice yourself slipping back into old thought patterns or emotional states. Another obstacle people say, I keep getting distracted. This is common. 17 seconds is a long time. Start by practicing this in a quiet environment without distractions. Turn off your phone, find a comfortable position, and give yourself permission to focus completely for just 17 seconds. Now, I want to give you 17 seconds right now. You'll start to realize how long 17 seconds are. You'll also notice I'm always giving 17-second pauses in my meditations, and this is the reason. So let's try it. Starting now. "17 seconds, just like that. I'll do this again to count it down so you can realize it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 seconds. That's all it takes."
All right. Welcome back. Thank you for thank you for your attention. Yeah, it's pretty. What I'll do is I'm gonna put the link in the channel so you guys will have it and you'll be able to have the link. We're gonna do some practice, and then I'll open the floor so we can chat with one another, which is what we really love to do when we're here together. So save that so you can work on it during the week. I won't say what we're going to do. I'm going to paste something else. So this is going to break down the steps, and we can talk about it. Actually, I have it saved on right here. We'll document. I'm going to paste it into the chat. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah, so it's a 17-second technique. Total, you can do it for longer, but we'll practice for 17 seconds. The first 3 seconds is essentially called the quantum pause. So I put double inhale with an extended exhale. I think the technique that he explained is a single inhale. If you do a double, I've used a double inhale and exhale, extended exhale. This is essentially the quickest way to drop. It drops you. You'll notice like you're shifting your brainwave activity, and that's the whole point. The next seconds 4 to 6, just releasing identity. Seconds, so it's 7 more seconds. So from 7 to 14, you're selecting what you want to be your new reality. You're kind of tuning your dial. He also talks about heart coherence too. So one of the techniques that you can work on is as you are in, you're basically halfway through at 7 seconds, 7 to 14. You're selecting your new reality, basically calling into your mind. Doesn't need to be a picture. I think he talked about like feeling, technique. Maybe it's a combination of both. Whatever is most powerful, you can invoke an emotion, like happiness, joy, bliss, to really kind of drive it home. And then the last like 15 seconds, 15 and 16, if you're following along in the chat, is a quantum collapse, so declaring that it is done. So essentially what JJ would say is calling it into completion. So it is done, is done, it is done. Just calling it into completion and knowing that it is done. And then the last second is a final breath. So you can kind of combine those last two. So you can say it is done, it is done, it is done. You can basically call it into completion and then know that it is done and then seal it with your breath. So there's a couple different techniques. Did anybody have like any questions? Any like, oh hey Anjali, welcome in. Good to see you. Any quandaries? We'll if you do, please feel free to unmute and let me know so we can, maybe somebody else has a similar question. I'm going to set a timer for 17 seconds. And we'll practice. Can you guys like type in the chat or give me like a thumbs up and let me know, or react, let me know that you guys are still there and that you're okay to try? Paula's like, yeah, okay, perfect. Aurora's here, Paula's here. Yay, Simi. I like the reaction. I knew you'd come through. All right. So we'll try for 17 seconds. Actually, we're not going to try. We are going to shift our reality in 17 seconds. How fucking cool is that? So if you need to, you can kind of, I wouldn't like big brain it. So don't try and like get all masculine with this technique, which is like what I would do. I just pasted it into the chat if you want to. Essentially, like a good way to remember is start with a breath, or I do a double, so a sip, sip, and then a breath out, and that changes your brainwave state. So sip, sip, exhale out, releasing your identity, and then calling in your new reality, or picturing your new reality, or feeling your new reality, calling it into completion, and then sealing it with an exhale on the out. So it's 17 seconds. We'll try it till we get bored of it, basically. So go ahead, before we get started here, kind of pre-grid this reality hack. The title of our call is Limitless Creator, so you are a limitless creator, not just in words. We're all limitless creators, sovereign limitless creators, even at that. So not just words, not just showing up to a phone call, we have the ability to alter our physical reality with our intention, with our emotions, with our thoughts, of the limitless creator. I've known people who have quantum leap, changed their reality. I'm living in my current reality that I manifested, and I want that for you so much. And you deserve that. We all deserve that. We all deserve to have our highest timeline manifested in that moment. All right. So calling to mind what you want your reality to be. And then I'll kind of give you a countdown. We'll just do 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to set my timer. We'll go for 17 seconds. So it'll be breath, dissolving the identity, calling in your reality, picturing it, and then for the last 3 seconds, calling it into completion, knowing that it is done, and then exhaling, sealing with a breath. All right, so whenever you are ready, I'll go 3, 2, 1, and then I'm going to hit start, all right? So we'll practice, we'll do 3 or 4 times practice. So 3, 2, 1, starting now. And finished. 17 seconds. Was that quick, short? Let's go again. So once again, you don't have to, if you get lost in the sauce, it's okay. Got plenty of time to practice this technique on your own. We'll go for another 17 seconds. I'm going to count you down here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and start. And finished. Don't forget to breathe. You don't have to worry if you're doing it right. The quantum field responds to our intention. I know. I'm like smiling too. I know that I'm smiling as we're doing it. Yeah, Christina said that. You keep ending up with the goofiest smile on your face. I know, I'm smiling too because it's just like so good. All right, let's try again here. And I think it's good. Like it's good to smile. Like evoking that emotion just makes it so real. Like thinking about that joy, that bliss, that maybe it's a partner, you know, that you're manifesting or something like that. Yeah, so let's try again. I'll count us down here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Begin. And finished. All right, let's try one more practice and then we'll open it up. It's been about an hour. I definitely want to hear what's coming through for everybody, what's been happening for you, what you're feeling. Oh. Don't forget to breathe and get those wiggles in. All right, one more time here. You guys have the links so you can practice to your heart's content until next week. All right, so 4, 3, 2, and 1, begin. And finished. Nice. You did well. I could tell some stuff was shifting. Like you can feel the field, like if you're sensitive, you can feel the field of our call. Like we're all building this field together, right? We're all super tapped in, high frequency, calibrated, attuned, well grounded, love. You can feel like the field of like the energetics of our call like shifting. Christina said, the combo of gratitude and awe and wonder, this is lovely and contagious. Your 6-year-old started running back and forth and giggling. I love that so much. Thank you for sharing. But yeah, I would love to hear from all of you. I've been talking for a while. Brian Scott's been talking. I would love to hear kind of what's coming through for you. Maybe even if you have some codes or light language to share, feel free just to unmute. There's only a small amount of us on the call, so it's completely okay. I would love to hear from anyone that feels aligned. I'd love to see your beautiful faces too, but you don't have to come off the camera if you're busy. That's okay. But it just brings me joy seeing my friends. There's Tatiana. Hey. Yeah, how did the technique work for you guys?
I thought it was awesome. I'm excited to keep working. Oops, sorry. Yeah, it just was super profound, and it just feels like quick, easy, concise thing that I've been kind of looking for in my next step. I feel like every time I remember that I create my own reality, I forget it like 10 seconds later. And so this is like a really great, fast, easy kind of breadcrumb, 17-second hack. Just having that in my head will help kind of continue to clear that continuous amnesia that we get as we get sucked back into our daily reality. So thank you for sharing this. Super cool.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Thanks for yeah, that remembrance, right? That we are the creators of this like wonderful reality. That we can make it into essentially whatever we'd like to. So I love that. And Simi said, thank you, brother, for sharing this technique. It's fun to tap in and create the shift in the beginning of Libra season. Ah, yeah, Libras.
Hi, I would like to share something.
Perfect.
So, uh, my one of my ability is divine will. So I can instantly manifest. I can instantly do manifestation. Before, so when I was a kid, before I'm awakened, I can do manifestation, but I just not realize I'm doing it. So I didn't doing it purposefully. But after I'm awakened, so I understand that this is what I'm doing. So if I just, I can instantly change weather. And if I say something, that thing will become reality. So one of my role is to shifting humanity's consciousness. So everyone has the ability of manifestation. How to make it more efficient for you is, so the 17 seconds is basically you dropped into the zero point field of creation. So you just need to make yourself can get into 0 point field easier and faster. So you need to believe in it, and then you need to raise your frequency. So when you raise your frequency, when your frequency is high enough, it makes you easier to get into that 0 point field. But there probably have many other ways, but this is my sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aurora. You're right. You're so right. It is a technique, like, they call it, like, it's real flashy, right? The 17-second reality hack. But I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Like, the technique essentially allows us, so it shifts your brain waves, right? Dissolving kind of like the ego if you're reading into it, and then calling forward into kind of your 0 point, your center, sitting in the quantum, your reality. There are many different techniques out there. This route, I like this one because it's short, it's powerful. You can apply emotion as well. I was just like Christina, I was getting like this big old cheesy grin on my face because it's just like, it's so yummy, you know? And there's so many ways that you can like meditate on this too. But you're right, yes, raising your frequency in turn raises your vibration, in turn makes things much easier, to manifest, to get into the 0 point, to get into the void, to hold, that field, all of these things. I would even say like your daily spiritual hygiene, your daily spiritual practices, to kind of like help you hone in. And I was thinking about it earlier because I was finishing yoga before I hopped on this call. And I've had some people kind of hit me up and they're like, hey, this, that, and the other. We were talking about like wanting to see more, wanting to increase their clear abilities, wanting to manifest all types of different things, whether it's like abundance in your physical reality, more soul-aligned friends, more soul family. And abundance doesn't necessarily need to be money, right? Abundance can be happiness, joy, whatever it is that makes you feel abundant in your reality. But really for me, I always, whenever we're talking like that, I boil it down to exactly what you said, like your frequency, vibration, your intention builds your reality. You can use this technique for the quantum field, for the 0 point, and then your daily spiritual hygiene practices really kind of help you to embody that frequency, embody that vibration, which in turn you can use to manifest. Okay, take it easy, Gloom. Thanks for showing up, brother. Good to see you. Yeah, and whatever it is that gets you into the flow state, you know what I mean? Whether it's like yoga, I use gym yoga, Peloton. Some people run, some people paint, listen to music. Whatever it is that you're using to ground yourself, to activate yourself, to get you into that, highly encourage you to do that, every single day, every single day. I was talking to a friend of mine recently, and we were talking about, I don't know if you ever heard of like a dieta. It's where you do essentially like plant medicine for 30 days straight, right? It doesn't need to be like, it can be anything. I did one with just Blue Lotus. I did it for like a month straight, but you can just do it. The technique is to do it for 30 days straight, right? So you could use this manifestation technique for 30 days straight. You could just say, hey, I'm going to do whatever it is for 30 days straight. I'm going to do yoga. I'm going to run. I'm going to, something that you're not currently doing it for 30 days straight will help add that into your routine, and in turn help you raise your frequency, which in turn raises your vibration, which will help you with all things spiritual. So yeah, thank you so much. Christina said, my left brain is really liking having the structure, steps, and grateful for the years of practice learning to pause and catch habits, flashbacks from a place of curiosity and compassion. Having so much fun with this today and acknowledging this is an awareness of a bounciness, like a trampoline where I get lost in the grind of the mind. Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't, and like I say, it doesn't need to be like super masculine at all. Being open to receive, there's a lot to be said about actually being open to receive too, which is like a very feminine, and it doesn't have to be about duality or polarity, really, thinking back to like the lens of unity consciousness, the unified field, things of that nature. What do you got, Tatiana?
Oh yeah, I was just going to add that one of the things that I really am digging about this is the entering the void and the dissolving, the image of like dissolving your identity like sugar. I think, in all of the different techniques I've done over the years, including like Joe Dispenza and, creating a reality with your thoughts and adding your emotion to bring it to you more quickly. And, all the kind of extra credit techniques Brian Scott spoke about at the end. Like the one thing that I feel like I missed was that really quick image of kind of dissolving everything that you are right now. I think a lot of those other ones seem to kind of like focus on what you're wanting to create and doing so without the kind of stepping into the void. I think there's a stepping into the void, but this, I don't know, there's something about this kind of dissolving of the identity with that image is really, really fast and effective. I feel like that for me is like a key piece that is going to make the difference.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. And you're right. That is like really different of some of the techniques that I've used. Is the you know, there's something to be said about like labels, right? And releasing labels, because when we have a label, when we say I am this or you are that, you're putting energy towards that, right? I have ADHD. Well, I'm not diagnosed with ADHD. Maybe I have ADHD traits or ADD traits, correct? But by saying I am this, I'm telling the trillions of cells in my body, I am this. I can't see. My third eye is blocked. I hear this. I can't even tell you how many times I've heard that. You're telling the trillions of cells in your body, my third eye is whatever. Is that true? Is your third eye calcified? Is your pineal gland blocked? I don't know. But, you know, words are very powerful. Releasing those labels, I don't like to say blocked personally, releasing those labels, releasing the expectations, powerful, super, super powerful. So thank you. Vincent, what's up, brother?
Hey, everybody. Good to see everybody here. One thing that just popped in for me was like how if we're using this technique or using any manifestation technique, it's programming your subconscious to like give you hints, and that's what our intuition is. So like allow those hints to come to you when you're actually programming your future, for sure, because like that's the biggest way spirit will connect to us, when we're talking to ourselves this way. You know, you just got to remember you're talking to your future self when you're in these manifestation sets. Like your future self is like there with you, and it's going to take the hints and the programs of what you should do and allow yourself to be in that. And I mean, allow yourself to flow into joy when you recognize those little things that are the hints of intuition that come into us. That's kind of what was coming in for me, just right there at the end. And thank you. Enjoy the day, everybody.
Nice. Appreciate you so much, brother, man. Sending you so much love. Good to see you. I haven't talked to you in a couple weeks, or I guess several weeks now. So really good to see you. Yeah, that's key. That's clutch. I was actually talking to Lenny about this. Let me just read over your comments here, Christina. She likes the dissolving too, showing me how far I've come, more like how much more love I can feel and releasing attachments, even the great things today. And then Tatiana said, reminds the idea of watching the inspired actions that come to you as you finish revisioning. The next step is to take and make your dream a reality. Yeah, I love the little breadcrumbs that we leave for ourselves. You know, I was just talking to Lenny about this like recently too, as you activate kind of like this remembrance frequency. And we just got back from our trip in Egypt, and we're going to start having some of the our friends that we met in Egypt hop on these calls with us. So it's going to be an amazing mix of all of our friends, and I hope that you guys, I know that we're all going to continue to co-create together and support one another and call in all of our manifestations together in this like wonderful field, and just so grateful for activations with JJ and her team, Michael, Teresa, her dad. I don't know why it's slipping my name. His name is slipping my mind this time. But anyways, for bringing us all together so that we can meet one another in person. D-Rex, yeah, thank you so much. so we can meet one another and then embody that in-person spiritual community. Although I've met almost everybody in person, not quite everybody, but looking forward to, I guess we can manifest that, manifesting, meeting, like honestly for me, like one of my manifestations that I work with often is living together in spiritual community, not just like meeting, but like living together in spiritual community. The concept of the tribe is like community, but that like familial, it's like it's that next kind of like level, and we're definitely getting there. Things are shifting in an amazing space and way, even since the beginning of this year, because it's the end of September now, and so much stuff has shifted for me personally and in the community since the beginning of the year. And I met all these wonderful people here on the call. I didn't know everybody at the beginning of this year. And then now I know so many wonderful people, and I've met a lot of people in person. Yeah. Simi, I don't know, are you able to chat any? I know it's early there. Maybe you're busy or something like that. I'd just love to hear your voice, but no pressure. Hi yoko otara arhia tisha otu fotu yara arhia ti hisha ota arhia ho oti hihina ata ar otu oti kia ka atu o. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. So good to see all of you in this new season, Libra, after all the epic moments that we have just experienced. And it's so beautiful to arrive here. I don't really have anything to add. Thank you, Brother Glenn, for sharing this beautiful techniques, and thank you for everybody's energy. This is really fun. I think it's so timely. And I'm just sending you a lot of love, a lot of grounding, a lot of peace from Mama Bali. Kia ora nana nakarashona samane kiro otashota kamayana irakata shana kianene. I love it brings back to we are limitless creators here. Kia tona mashona sarakuhu shona seirtona yarakuhu shoni kiriana. And I wish everybody a lot of fun, a lot of joy in creating going forward, and happy equinox. Thank you.
Yay, thank you, Simi. Love you so much. I love that you're in Bali too. Something about the frequency of because I was like, let me just feel into Bali for like 5 seconds while you're talking. It's just so yummy. A lot of like water. I was like seeing waterfalls and just beautiful people.
Oh, absolutely. It's like I have a friend that just say he has never seen so many beautiful people in one place. And it is true. But not just like physical appearance, but it's the heart, it's the soul, it's the local people, it's it's the culture, it's everything that makes everything so beautiful and tender, and beauty on a level exceeding just like the physical appearance. Yeah. And I would, if I can, I'm planning something right now. Like since I've been talking to some of you and you heed the call to come to Bali, if anyone just so happen to feel the call to come to Bali, I'm happy to organize something like a retreat, like 6 days or something. And if that gives you a ping, just DM me. Yeah, just reach out and then we'll sort out the time. Maybe it's Christmas after the main Christmas dates, so like from 28th to the 1st, maybe something like that, or the February 20th to like 26 or something, the 222 portal. I feel there's some incredible things unfolding next year. So yeah, or any other time that you feel called to. So thank you for, yeah, letting me share this.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to fly to Bali, honestly. It's going to happen next year, 2026, manifesting it before first contact. But yeah. Yeah, it's going to have to be in the first part. I feel like first contact is like, it's definitely like, I think some people are already in first contact, and maybe Vincent could speak to this, but I feel like the time frame has moved up. I'm like feeling very strongly like July and after of 26. Yeah, I know a lot of people said 27, but I feel like the time frame is like moving up. So not that you can't fly to Bali after first contact. I mean, maybe, who knows? Maybe there'll be more flights available whenever we're just hopping on our soul families like UAPs, you know, or UFOs. Maybe it'll be easier to get to Bali. Who knows? But yes, family, soul friends. I know. We're at an hour and a half, so I think we could probably wrap up here. Maybe a good time to kind of call this into completion and integration. Let me play some music and we can just close here. There we go. You're welcome. All right. Yeah, so just getting ready to shift into closing out this call. Just want to send every single person that was here just so much love. So grateful for you. Thanks for sticking around, learning a powerful manifestation technique. Taking a minute here, just recall and remember and call into the now moment your intentions from earlier. Bringing that intention into the now moment and rebreathing that intention. Inhaling that intention. Exhaling the completion. Knowing that your intention for the session is powerful and it is done. We have co-created this sacred space together. Calling any energy back that is ours to us, cleansed and cleared. Any energy that isn't ours, calling that back as well, sending it into the void, into the 0 point, to be alchemized, transmuted for the greater good of humanity, back to God, Source, Creator. Sending deep love and gratitude to all the guides that step forward to co-create with us. And you can integrate and seal with your breath. You can sign like an infinity symbol or whatever symbol you use. I'll drop the link into the Telegram as well. But you guys should have it for the YouTube video. Feel free to hack and completely change your reality. And if you If you swap to another timeline and I don't see you anymore, I will completely understand. I'll be so fucking happy for you. But I would love to continue co-creating with you, so feel free to put it into the field in your new reality. I hope you guys have an amazing night. Have a great rest of your week. Feel free to hit me up if you need any support or you just want to chat. Love you guys. It is done, it is done, it is done, and so it is. Feel free